one of the things I thought about talking about this week on the show that people might find interesting, like volatile stocks, I suppose you could say. This is not necessarily true when you look at this massive period of time for the last like couple of years where it's been trapped in what looks like a fairly narrow range. But if you think about lows just in around that $19 area and highs and 40 or let's call it $30, when there's been percentage-wise fairly big moves at times on this, 60% increase, stuff like that. So whenever prices drop down below $20, makes it interesting. There's a flash left on there at $20, moving averages up there, big gap. Why did I just call it questions? Because this was my roadmap, and before we're deep in the constantly arguing with friends and family section. This is of course something that GameStop diamond handlers don't like need me to map that out for them, but they might feel seen, it's good to feel seen, isn't it? So here's the chat. Making it back in that yellow box is important. It happens to line up with where the 236 is for just now. So like your last gasp type of moment is in here, which is a neat area to have that at. Just like this is neat enough. Okay, if we look to the left, what does this show us? Looking to the left, it shows us that prices have only come down and popped close to this price point, but not really at all since May 2024 when they came in and pushed down. They flushed as low as let's see, just there, they flushed as low as about 1780 at that price. So we'll just leave this box here. This is the decision zone. Okay, it could end up representing like the cheap low value area, where anything that looks anything resembling this is works out, looking like a great trade no matter what way you where you take profit, because 5 to 1 can't be sniffed at. Either can 10 or 20 to 1, you can make that much tighter risk management. So like, this could look like that, or things could go into even worse. Constantly arguing with friends and family. Next point down there. We'll just do that. Which is around about that $10 price point. Yeah, right. And I think it's fair to put this down here. Overall, but it's true that is that first one. That was the first one, and then this is where it's kind of like before, but double bad. That's the emotional map on top of GameStop. But my chat about GameStop at these prices is this is the potential zone for it to turn around, right? This is it. It's a flash at $20, gap on the charts, etc. Make it back into this range. Well, then, you make it back into the range. The likelihood is you make it 50% of the way back towards where that range. Let's call these, let's call that the low. Yeah, sure. Call that low and call that the high. 50% would put it about $26. So maybe the target becomes $26, from this low if things start to turn around. And it's kind of like, what's going on? What's the story with GameStop? They tried to buy eBay, it didn't quite work out for them. Is that the target? Is that possible? What do you think? Let me know what you think about that target. Is that drawing pleasing to you? Do you recognize the story in the background of the context? So like for the GameStop investor, what do you think, right? The flash, the gap, the Fibonacci's line up a wee bit. It's conceivable. Does it work out to be something maybe a wee bit more like this? You should probably always put your entry where your stop loss target was originally. As a rule, it's one of the interesting rules. One of the members of the trading investing community that I've got, whom big shout out to her, much love to Amanda. She sees this. Hi. She writes trading rules like on her chair. She did at one point anyway, so you could look down and see them written on the chair. and that's a good one to have written on any trader's chair. So could that be the target, or are we talking $10? Right, because there's a severe threat on the chart right now, and it makes me wonder about narrative questions. We've got earnings that are coming up here September, right? So this time from between now and September, big questions. eBay may dodge a GameStop takeover, but there's a new twist in the Ryan Cohen saga, is the news from 2 days ago. So we'll check out the story. This is by Bill Peters, reporting for Bloomberg, that says GameStop could propose collaborating with eBay in some way other than a merger. Some analysts doubt whether eBay would benefit much from that sort of a deal. Kind of story perhaps where GameStop says, let's do all of your Pokemon for you. We'll just do all your Pokemon for you. Something like that, so we can pump the price of Pokemon up. One of my pet conspiracy theories about this one was that GameStop CEO Ryan Cohen was trying to buy eBay so that he could manipulate the price of Pokemon cards. It's feasible, right? It's feasible. It's big business. It's like, you know, it's not slander or libel or any of that. It's just me joking with friends on the internet about stuff in satire. Bloomberg on Monday reported that Cohen is now considering proposing a partnership or joint venture that would enable eBay to leverage GameStop's roughly 1,600 US retail locations. Okay, so like that's kind of like GameStop. They're going to eBay and they're saying, eBay, you could be like GameStop was in the past. And they'll be like, yeah, I remember that shop that used to exist. It was called GameStop. You could go in with like your stuff and sell it, buy and sell stuff like games and electronics and that. And they're like, yeah, remember that company? Well, we are that company. We sell Pokemon cards now, but we are still that company. You could do what we used to do in our shops. How about that? Collaboration. And that's cool. It's a better story than just selling Pokemon cards. You know, you could do that. You could sort of do that. I think why not? Like in that movie, 40-Year-Old Virgin, didn't he run a eBay shop? Was it? That was that. Anyway, that's the latest. The story on that one's gone a little bit stale, has to be said. How's eBay shares actually doing? This is one of the things then. They own 10% eBay. It's had a little bit of a drop down recently. Oh, that's not great actually.